Greetings, 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 or as we in the Navy used to say, ahoy, may mateys. Nah, I'm kidding. Uh, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kima Murray, and I am the project director of Stripes VUB, based here at the beautiful University of Central Oklahoma. And this educational brief is brought to you by the VUB program, Veterans Upward Bound. I will explain exactly what we actually do. But first, I want to explain a little bit about what this podcast does. Now, we are a program that is sanctioned by the Department of Education to help all veterans get into post-secondary education, even if they've been out of school for a couple of years, like about 2 or 5 years, or they're transitioning from the military into a educational environment. We're here to help you get the job done. And the basic premise of these podcasts is to give you a little tidbit of information so that you'll be able to make a informed decision about your educational future. Last podcast, we talked about the different kinds of degrees and training that you could get in order to further your educational goals and thereby furthering your employment goals. And we went over a lot of those. So if you want to check those out, we have two channels. One is on Facebook, and that just do a search for Stripes VUB on Facebook, and that page will pop up and you'll be able to watch that video there. We also have a YouTube page, which is also Stripes space VUB on YouTube, and you'll be able to watch us there as well. So it doesn't matter if you have a telephone, an iPod or an iPad or a tablet or a laptop or a desktop. We're going to be on the airways to give you the info that you need. Also, a couple of announcements this week, such as, next week is going to be, Thanksgiving holiday. Today's date is 11/17/2022. So next week next Thursday is going to be Turkey Day. So don't expect me to be on the airwaves then. Also, for those of you who are in VUB, okay, who are already signed up for our program, this counts as one of the activities that you would need in order to get your $40 stipend from us. We want you to be active. We want you to be very forward thinking in your educational goals. So we're going to offer a lot of different events, as well as training sessions, as well as emails and surveys. Okay, folks, I'm about to be serious for a minute. Be very active, okay? Answer the emails. Look at the webinars. You might learn a thing or two about the educational climate nowadays. What we're trying to do is pass this information. So we want a signal that you are actually getting all this information. And those of you who actually stay engaged and stay focused, you'll be eligible for your $40 a month stipend. Because if you don't, then we're going to think you just don't care and you don't want the money. Okay? We have it to give. It's free. This program is free for every veteran. Also, if you are listening, you can actually, there's a chat. Okay. So all you have to do is I look and I see if there's an indicator if somebody is listening or on. I'll just say, look, who are you? Where are you from? And just go ahead and put your name and, the city. You don't have to give me the last name, just give me a name. And then, we'll be will actually have an indication that you at least watched it, or if it's something, or answer the email or what have you. So once again, if you are in VUB right now, this counts as one of your activities to qualify you for your $40 a month stipend. So please tune in. We are going to have this podcast, after, next week, every Thursday, uh, at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you want to get a little bit more educated and see what we're doing with VUB, tune into our podcast. Also, be sure to comment. Even if you was on here, um, you know, and got hooked, or let's say it wasn't while it was live, leave us a comment. Okay, let us know that we're doing right, or let us know if we're not. You know, if I need to cover a certain subject matter, just go ahead and let me know. Okay, let's say if I'm not doing something right, let me know. We can't get better if we don't know what's going on wrong, right? Also, we were going to have a Saturday uh, discovery discovery day where it was going to be an educational web seminar. We was going to have food and everything else. Um, Due to logistical issues, we are actually postponing that. So we will not be having the Saturday Discovery, but we will continue with the podcast after the Thanksgiving break. And even if you want to catch the other 3 episodes on Facebook or YouTube, just go ahead, leave a comment, give me your name, where you're from, and you'll be counted uh, with those uh, with those views. Okay, and that way we'll be able to keep an accurate record if you're staying engaged with us or not. Also, um, just be sure that we are going to be consistent with our informational sources. So, with that being said, let's get to it. So, today, what we're going to be talking about now, last week, we talked about um, the kind of degrees and the kind of certifications you can get. But now we're going to be talking about what kind of schools that you can attend and what kind of school and what kind of training you could actually partake in. But first, we have to consider, what is post-secondary education? Okay. Well, we know what secondary education is. That's high school. Your primary education, that is elementary. Um, or actually, it's pre-primary. Your primary is actually junior high, and then your secondary is high school. So post-secondary is what happens after high school. Um, there are a lot of things that can happen after high school. For one thing, you can go straight to work. Okay. But you have to think and consider that there are certain things that are different about going to college and going to work and going to high school and going to work. Everyone needs a high school diploma. Let me make it perfectly clear at that point. Okay. Everybody needs a high school education. What you do after high school becomes now a choice of what I like to call specialization, because you can go a different way and still have the outcome that you would like. But there are reasons to go to post-secondary education as a whole, such as Career choices. There are certain occupations that require a certain level of education. You can't get a certification and want to be a doctor. Okay, not going to happen. You're not going to require a PhD if you want to manage a retail store. That's too much education. Okay. The second reason is that with bigger education, you get bigger salary. Now, we covered last week that degrees come in levels. You start with associates. Well, you can get a certification, which is basically someone certifying that you can do the task for that particular company. Okay. You can move on up to an associate's degree, which is a 2-year degree from a junior college or 4-year college. You go from associates to bachelor's, which is a 4-year degree, a bachelor's to a master's, which is a 6-year degree, or a master's to a PhD, which is also specialized training. And then you get a professional degree after that, which actually goes into the specialized professional ranks. But with each of those levels, you get an increase in not only your primary pay, but bonuses as well as perks that may come with your job. Consider that, because now in today's employment requirement or environment, excuse me, that perks can make the job. Okay. If you get some stock options, that can make your paycheck that much bigger. If you get a bonus every couple of months because of performance, that can actually make your paycheck swell up too. So, with bigger education, there's a bigger salary. Okay. Third reason is a contribution to society. Okay. When many people are probably focused on career prospects and potential earnings, there are certain forms of research that show that those with higher education actually make more contributions to society. They join groups, they may join school groups, they may join community activist groups, they may join clubs, they do hobbies with other people. The possibilities are endless, quite frankly. And then you get into a healthy lifestyle. Now, when I read this article, I had to go a little bit deeper because I'm like, okay, how does more schooling make you healthy? Well, it actually goes into the fact that if you're around a school environment, you have access to a lot of information, whether it's at the library, whether it's from your peers, whether it's from your professors, maybe administrators that you kind of hooked up with. I mean, there are a lot of different informational sources that you can get from the educational environment. And one of those sources is lifestyle. One of those sources is maybe you want to learn how to be healthy. Well, guess what? Most colleges has a health and wellness department. Thereby, you can get your information there. Well, maybe you want to just learn how to eat better. Guess what? Most colleges have a nutritionist department, health and wellness. Maybe I want to be mentally healthy. Well, guess what? Most colleges actually have a mental health department where you can go and see if you need help or if you are on the right track in staying mentally healthy. So there are a lot of different ways that you can actually spurn a healthy lifestyle just from going to school. Never thought of that, did you? Well, it's there. The next thing is you get is life experience. Now, okay, vets, you have to kind of understand that this falls into the same category as our military service. And I say ours because I'm a Navy vet. Okay. My ship was in the Pacific Fleet. So Southeast Asia, Australia, the Pacific Islands. That was my place to roam, okay, as a sailor. And I can tell you with a degree of certainty that those places uh, gave me the life experience that I could tell my grandchildren about. Well, school does that to anyone who hasn't been in the military. The experiences and the situations, bad or good, that you actually experience in school enlightens your life in the long run. Whether it's a bad thing, so it teaches you how not to do something, or it may be a good experience that you'll be able to keep with you and maybe pass on to someone else that wants to learn how to be better themselves. So, life experience is actually one of the things that you will be able to experience in school. Now, there are many different types of post secondary institutions. Now, we already talked about degrees. Now, where do you go and get those degrees? I'm glad you asked. There are a lot of different places to go depending on the level that you actually want to achieve. One of those things is colleges and universities. Okay. One of the highest forms, as it says on the article, so you don't have to take my word for it. It's right there in black and white. It's one of the highest forms of post-secondary education. Universities and colleges are usually 4-year institutions, sometimes 5, sometimes 6, if they have a doctorate program. Excuse me. And these will enable you to achieve not only an associate's or a bachelor's, but sometimes a master's and a PhD all at the same institution. Okay. So colleges and universities are places where you could start your educational journey and end your educational journey, depending on the school. Now, when they talk about professional higher education, this is, they differ from universities because they integrate what is currently out there in the work world into their curriculum. Okay. Most colleges and universities only give you a general education when it comes to career fields. Okay. Most of their curriculum is theory, and it gets you to mold your own perception of what you're trying to learn. But professional higher education is those schools that focus strictly on the career path that you are going to actually go for. Now, one of the things that it one of the examples it gives in the article, it says that let's see, professional higher education usually usually includes a combination of study and on the job training. Medical school is a very good example of this. Okay. Not only do you get your PhD there, but you get your on the job training, such as um, that is needed for medicine, not just human medicine, but as it gives the example here of veterinary medicine. Okay, it gives you on the job. Usually, another example it used was architecture, where basically you go through school and then you have to do an internship at a company. Well, they combine that into the school so that it's a one-stop shop. So when you leave there, you'll be able to go into the working world. Okay. Now we have community and junior colleges. Usually these are 2-year institutions, and they offer everything from certifications to 2-year associate degrees. So you would go to a community or junior college to start your journey because of one major selling point that every community and junior college has. They usually cost less than 4 years. You will basically be able to do your first 2 years of general studies at a junior college for almost half the price of a 4-year college. And then the best part is that if you want to transfer to a 4-year from a 2-year, it's usually a very seamless transition. I will say that again. It is a very seamless transition in order to change from a 2-year to a 4-year because you've already achieved enough for a associate's degree. So you take that degree, you go to a 4-year, and they accept you, and you go straight into specialized degree training. How good is that? And the last school is vocational, technical, business, and trade schools. Now, these are open to all students, as it says in the article. But you also have to understand that you typically do not get degrees with them. There are some schools that offer them. I'm not really going to say that there is no school that does it. Okay. But I will tell you this: they are very specialized, and they usually give degrees, which usually take between 6 to 8 months of training. So if you want to go and learn a trade and get out into the working world as quick as possible, then, business, technical, and vocational schools will be for you. But it's still a form of education. And some of those will enable you later on in life to come back to school. And then you will be able to continue your education, maybe to get your degree, so you can actually go up into higher promotions when it comes to your um, educational position. Okay, some people will not be able to be promoted into management without some form of degree, whether it's a bachelor's or sometimes a master's. Okay, some folks, you won't be able to progress into another form of your current job unless you have some form of specialized training. That's where the vocational, technical, and business and trade schools come in. Okay, I can give you an example right now. There are some schools that'll give you a certification to be a plumber. Okay, but you will not progress unless you get more education and an apprenticeship with a master plumber. So you need not only the education from an institution, but you also need the education from a mentor. And that is one of the things you have to really keep in mind about the places to where you'll be able to go to school at. And how do you get there? Well, I'm glad you asked. Now I get to talk about my program. Veterans Upward Bound is a program that is uh, endorsed and funded by the Department of Education. The wonderful thing about this program, and this is why I love working for this program, is that we help vets who want to get back into school get there. And we offer a variety of different services at no cost to the veteran. This is a free program for anyone who has served. Okay. All you need to do is prove that you are a veteran. How do you do this? Now, I know I'm talking to a bunch of veterans out there. The main thing you have to have is your DD 214. Okay. That is your pipeline to veterans benefits. You have that. We actually cater to first generation. Those are people whose parents has not had any kind of a bachelor's degree when they turn 19. Okay, they are considered first generation. We cater to those folks. Also, we cater to low income. If you don't think you can afford school, we can probably get you, we can match you up to scholarships, grants, other forms of financing to where you will be able to adequately finance your education at no at no cost to you, of course. But we strive to not have any veteran go into debt because of their education. Okay, there are ways we can go around that depending on every individual situation that most vets have. And also another thing, and I usually say this when I'm talking to people. the main thing, the main objection that I always get is that I'm too old to go to school. Now, I want you to really kind of let that sink in a little bit, because I can tell you right now, you are never too old to learn. If you are, then you might as well just go ahead and sit in your easy chair, and hopefully, you know, I pronounce you retired, because while you are moving and shaking, there is no stopping when it comes to learning something. There's been many famous people who've always said, if you stop learning, you're kind of headed for that next step, if you get what I'm saying. So you always are learning. You always need to learn to be a success in this world. I don't care what you do. You may bank, you may trade stocks, you may trade cryptocurrency, you may trade antiquities, you may run a shop. I don't care what job you do. You always have to learn in order to succeed, in order to be promoted, as well as be more of a success than you should. And we at Veterans Upper Bound want to take you there. We want to make sure that if you do want to go back to school, then you go back to school to be successful. You don't go to school just to pass. You go to school to excel. Now, notice I said that. You go to school to excel. So, anyway, I don't want to get too much into that, but that's basically my spill. I'm If you are watching this on a big screen or on a computer screen, if you want to apply to our program, just take your phone and scan the barcode, uh, and it'll lead you to our application process, and we'll get you squared away. Also, the number down, there's also a telephone number down there on the lower right hand corner. That is 405 974 3967. Or you can send us an email very quickly at triovub at uco.edu, or even leave a comment on our YouTube, or our YouTube and our Facebook live sites. Leave us a little comment. We'll get your questions answered, and we'll make sure that you have an informed decision in order to continue your educational journey. So I will leave you with this. There are many things that we want to do in life, okay? Most of us want to make sure that we take care of our families. There are those of us who really want to excel in the job that we're doing, okay? There are many of us who want to learn a new skill. There are many of us that actually wants to just learn something, okay? So I want to leave you with the fact that if you want to go back to school, if you want to continue your educational journey, then Veterans Upper Bound is the program for all you vets out there that want to make your educational dreams come true. Okay. And we are going to help you get there. So if you have any questions, um, you have our phone numbers. You can go back in the video and view it. You can leave a comment on either of our pages. And once again, we are not going to be transmitting this podcast next Thursday because it's Thanksgiving. We got to get some turkey going. And I want to wish everybody out there who views this a happy Thanksgiving. And we will be back not next Thursday, but the Thursday after. Also, if you are in our program already, please be sure that you tune into these podcasts, as well as answer our surveys and everything else, because that is a requirement as of a couple months ago, that you would have to be active in our program in order to get your $40 a month stipend. So please, 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 please stay active and stay educated. So with that, I will bid you guys adieu, and I will see you at the next podcast. Peace out.
1